Hello and welcome to Bruce Springsteen Guitar Lessons. Today's lesson is going to be Walk Like a Man from Tunnel of Love. Thanks very much to patron Peter Connell for the request. Hello and welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that walkthrough. So now what we're going to do is go through all the individual parts. So it's worth noting there's not actually much guitar on this track. It's mainly synth and string based, but there's some picking patterns, really cool picking patterns you can hear on the record that we're going to go through in a bit. And also I've suggested a strumming pattern that you can use all the way through. Okay, so the song is in the key of F major, Capo 5th fret. Okay, let's go through the chord shapes. So the chord shapes, I'm going to use a normal C chord, will actually be coming out as actually an F because of the capo. We'll just use the kind of your standard chord names for simplicity. Okay, cool. So I've got a C major. So fret wise, again, I'm going to call it 1, 2, 3 because of the capo. So 3, 2, 0, 1, 0. Classic C major chord. We've also got a C over B, I think that's happening here. So fret wise, 2, 0, 0, 1, 0. So you're just going to use your first and your middle fingers there. And then A minor 7, which is basically like an A minor chord without your third finger. So fret wise, 0, 2, 0, 1, 0. Okay, and then we've also got a normal A minor chord they're going to use in the first chorus. Okay, and then we've also got a G chord. Now for this one, Bruce does this a lot as well. You use your third finger, 3rd fret E string, and then little finger, 3rd fret of the high E string. So kind of classic Bruce style G chord there. And I think something like this is happening in the song. Okay, which is a Cadd11 chord, amazing chord. So again, you can hear me play that with all the other instruments, and I think it seems to fit really well. And it might be a combination of the strings and all the other instruments that just kind of creating that sound. So Cadd11, so that's 3 3 0 1 0. So I'm using my 3rd finger, 3rd fret A, little finger, 3rd fret D, 1st finger, 1st fret B. Of course, that's the Cadd11. Also, I think he's playing a kind of F major 7 over C as well at some point. So for a really kind of rich sounding chord. So in terms of frets, you've got 3 3 2 1 0. So it's like that Cadd11 with your middle finger added on the 2nd fret of the G. Cool. And then you've also got an E minor chord, which you kind of use in the kind of 2nd break section and in the 1st chorus. And then also I think there's a D5. It might be a kind of a D minor with some of the other instruments. Just for ease, I've just made it into a D5 chord. That's 0, 2, 3. It doesn't matter if you play it from the A string as well. So it's like playing a D major chord without the middle finger. So 0, 2, 3, 1st and 3rd fingers. Cool. So also what I'm going to do now is put the song structure up on the screen to kind of show you the kind of the layout of the song. And any chords in brackets will means there's more than one chord in that particular bar. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is going to go through the strumming pattern and go through all the sections rhythm-wise. Okay. So the song structure, by the way, will be in the description. So hopefully you find that useful as well. Okay, so let's just take a look at the strumming pattern. So what we've got is this classic down, down, up, up, down, up. Again, there is some guitar on the record, but it's very faint. But I think this strumming pattern will work really well in a band situation, alongside the picking and obviously all the other, you know, synth and strings and things like that. So you've got this down, down, up, down, up, which we've used so many times before. And it does sound like that rhythm is definitely there in the song. So that strumming pattern again is down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. So you've got one crotchet or quarter note, 6 quavers or 8th notes, and then one of them's tied on the start of beat 3. So you've got this 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, and a lot of the chords are going to be split. So what's going to happen is, for example, the first bar, you're going to go like this. Down, down, up, down, up. Got the same strumming pattern, but you're changing on the and of 2. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Yep, so you're going to go C to the C over B. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then A minor 7, drop your middle finger to the A minor 7. And do the same thing with A minor 7 and G, okay? Okay, and then 2 bars of Cadd11 without, you know, changing within the bar. And that line you can see is you're going to do that 3 times in the song structure. Okay, so I'll just do that whole line again. This pattern repeats a lot. Okay, so you've got C over B, A minor 7. A minor 7 to G, and then 2 bars of Cadd11. Cool. And then the 4th, so you do that 3 times, and then the 4th round of that, what we're going to do is the last bar, you're going to do the Cadd11 to G. So you're going to change to that G on the and of 2. So down, down, up, down, up. So that will set you up for that awesome kind of synth riff, okay, which is in the first break. And then you just do exactly the same thing, that kind of 4-bar phrase in the first break. C, A minor 7, and Cadd11 for 2 bars. Cool. I'm just gonna now what we're gonna do is go through. So the second verse is going to do that 4-bar phrase another 4 times, and then we get into the first chorus. So the first chorus, what we've got is we've got an A minor and then an E minor. Okay. A minor for a whole bar, E minor for a whole bar. And I've suggested an F major 7 over C for 2 bars, okay? sounds a bit slightly different. And then you're going to do the C and C over B again. A-7 to G again. And you've got that split bar that we had at the end of the first verse. Cadd11. Yeah, so down, down, up, down, up. Cool, and then we're going to go into the second break. So that's just the same 4-bar phrase again that we've been repeating quite a lot. So the C, C over B, A-7, 2 bars of Cadd11. Cool, and this is where you're going to do 2 bars of E minor. That's really nice, and then 2 bars of D5, or D minor if you wanted to, or D sus2, and then F major 7 for 2 bars. Then we're going to get into the third verse. Okay, so we're going to do that classic 4-bar riff twice this time. That's A minor to G, Cadd11 for 2 bars. We're going to do that again. C, C over B, A-7 G, Cadd11 for 2 bars. We're going to start all that again. C, this is the third line of the third verse. A-7 to G, Cadd11. Then A minor, and then Cadd11, and then G. So it's kind of like an extended kind of verse section. It's really nice. Cool, and then you basically got the outro, which kind of fades out on record with that awesome kind of synth riff. So what I've done is I've done it 6 times on the backing track that I've made for this. Again, any backing tracks, feel free to sign up to Patreon if you want access to any of those. I think I've done 26 now, up to this when this video is going to be released. So yeah, 6 rounds of this outro. Obviously it fades out on record, so I just thought I'd do another kind of round. Yeah, so 6 rounds of this 4-bar riff, and then maybe just end on a C. Okay, so you got that 4-bar riff. It goes, you know, kind of behind that really cool synth lead part. Yeah, it definitely seems to be in the kind of the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th rounds a little bit more picking and strumming, so feel free to embellish things a little bit there. So okay, do a little bit more picking kind of with the strumming. It sounds like there's a lot more of that on the record at that particular point. Cool, so that's all the rhythm parts. Okay, so let's now take a look at the picking patterns. So what we've got in the first verse, it sounds like you've got this soft kind of picking pattern that's using notes of a C major chord throughout the whole of the first verse. So if you get your C major in position, take your middle finger off, and then what you've got is down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up. So don't need your middle finger, so that's going A string, B, G, A, B, G, and then A string, then upstroke. Again, he might vary it. You can tell sometimes he kind of picks more of a strummy kind of type of picking, and then vice versa for the strumming that we did earlier. So it's really subtle changes, I think. So but again, feel free to play around with it. So these are all quavers or 8th notes. So it's 8 notes in a bar, and you've got half a beat each, and you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this is a C major chord, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up. I find that works really well. Again, so don't be too aggressive with the picking. You know, it's quite subtle and soft because you've obviously got the strings and everything else working there. Cool, so then you've got the first kind of break. Now I think you can't really hear much picking here in the first break for the first 2 bars. This is over that kind of classic 4-bar phrase with that cool little synth riff. So what I've suggested here, you don't do anything for the first 2 bars. Again, if you're playing this in a band situation, one of you is strumming and one of you is picking. The picking person wouldn't play anything for the first 2 bars, and then come in kind of over that Cadd11 chord or an F chord. You're going to do, put your 3rd finger, 3rd fret D, 1st finger, 1st fret B. Don't forget, still capo at fret 5. So do the same picking pattern, but with this chord now. So D, E, B, G, E, B, G, B. Okay, down, up, down, 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 up, up, down, up, 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 down, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up. works really well to add some kind of depth to that kind of Cadd11 chord. Okay, so that's the first break. And then for the second verse, what I've suggested is basically doing what you were doing in verse 1 for the first 2 bars, and then what you were doing, that riff in the first break for the second 2 bars. So it's that 4-bar loop. You're going to do 4 times in the second verse. So let me just play that. So those 4 bars will go like this. Kind of that C bar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So really nice and simple. And feel free to change it up as well. You can hear he does that a little bit on the record. So yeah, so it don't have to be too, you know, you don't have to do the exactly same thing every single time, but so feel free to change that up. Cool, so that's the first verse. There's no intro in this song, comes straight in with the first verse, first break, and then second verse. Okay, so let's take a look at the picking patterns for the first chorus and the second break. Now, some of these picking patterns, it's quite hard to hear exactly what's going on in the record, so some of these are sort of suggestions, but they'll work really well over those kind of rhythm chords, okay? So what we've got is over the A minor, we're going to use an A-7 kind of picking pattern to get your A-7 ready. So middle finger, D string, although you don't really need to have that there because you're not picking it. It's good to have the shape there, and then first finger, first fret, B string. So what you're going to do here is pick the A string, again very similar to what we've done before. Down, up, down, up, down, up on the A string, then E, B, G, E, B, G, B, and then E minor. Okay, so here you can put your E minor down, but we actually don't even need to have that because it's just, you're just doing open strings. E minor, so open E, then E, B, G, E, B, G, B. Okay, and then do that kind of F kind of sus2 kind of voicing we've done before. Over the 2 bars of F major 7 works really well. So that's third finger, third fret, D, first finger, first fret, B. So the pattern they used, I think it was in first break. The 2 bars. And then kind of do the same thing now with a C major, but instead of doing what we were doing in the first verse, maybe pick, it sounds like he's starting to pick open E strings a little bit more. So A string, then basically just do what you, instead of doing the third fret D as the root note, just do the third fret A and do exactly the same riff. So A string, then E, B, G, E, B, G, B, and do the same for 2 bars. Actually 3 bars, because it's only 7 bars in the first chorus. Okay, so let me play the whole of the first chorus with a picking pattern. Okay, so A-7, E minor, and that F kind of chord, and then basically do 3 bars of this variation on that C chord. Will work really well. Cool, and now we're going to look at the second break. Okay, so now you're going to carry on with that kind of, that C kind of voicing that we've just done in the last 3 bars of the first chorus. You're going to do that for 2 bars. And then do the F kind of chord voicing for 2 bars. Works really well. Okay, so that was the first 4 bars of the second break. And then we got E minor for 2 bars, okay? Same picking pattern as we did in the first chorus. Now, it's quite hard to exactly what chord, the synth is so strong, what chords are actually happening here, but in the rhythm I've suggested D5. I'm kind of in the backing track, I'm playing a G minor chord, okay, because of obviously Capo. Okay, so here I've suggested a D sus2 picking pattern that works really well over that D5. Okay, so first finger, second fret G, third finger, third fret B, and again, same kind of picking style, down, up, down, up, down, up, and do that for 2 bars. It just works, all sort of syncs together really nicely. Okay, so that's 2 bars of D sus2, and then to finish off, do that kind of F voicing picking pattern. Works really well. Cool, so I just play the whole of the second break using the kind of picking suggestions. So C major, 2 bars, that F voicing for 2 bars, E minor for 2 bars, D sus2, F major for 2 bars. Cool, so that's the first chorus and the second break. Okay, so let's now take a look at the picking patterns for the third verse and the outro sections. So what we've got is that classic 4-bar loop that you're going to do twice, and over that you're just going to do that picking pattern you did in the first verse with the broken C on the A, B strings and the G strings. So down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up. So going to do that throughout those kind of 2 rounds of the classic 4-bar loop. Now for the third round of this loop, it changes slightly. So what we've got, it's got the 3 bars exactly the same. So do that, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then you've got this bar of A minor on the song structure, but you're going to do that A-7 picking pattern that we did earlier. Okay, and then over the Cadd11, penultimate bar of the third verse, you're going to do the pattern you just did, the C pattern. And actually over the G, it sounds quite nice to go back to the C pattern, but with the E string. Cool, so that's the third verse. Now the outro, you just got this 4-bar loop that you can kind of use throughout. You can feel free to maybe embellish it a little bit more, tap the strings a little bit more, because you can definitely hear the lead guitar a little bit more in the last 4 rounds of the outro. But yeah, you've just got this 4-bar loop, which is the C pattern with the open E string, for 2 bars, and then that F pattern for 2 bars. Again, maybe strum it a bit more. The last 4 verses, but that will get you most of the parts there. Cool, hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and any comments or suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comments section below. Please subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications if you haven't already. Also, if you'd like any guitar profiles, guitar PDFs, backing tracks, and also if you'd like to make any requests and things like that, head over to patreon.com/Bruce Springsteen Guitar and see what's available in the different tiers there. Thanks again to Peter Connell for the requests. I think this is a brilliant song, very underrated album. I think Tunnel of Love is a brilliant album. So yeah, thanks again for watching everyone, and I'll see you next week. Cheers, bye.